everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making these adorable winter snowman coasters set. This is so adorable, and we're working with cork board. How fun is that? This is something new. I've never tried this before, and this turned out to be so fabulous. So it was a lot of fun to make. I hope you enjoy this video. I'll get into some supplies that we'll need, and then the instructions and some frequently asked questions, and we'll get started in making this coaster. So to start out, the supplies we need, I'm using all Red Heart yarns. Okay, so this is Red Heart Super Saver and Red Heart with Love. This is a scrap yarn project. You are not going to need a whole lot, and actually I don't even have yardage on my project to share with you how much yarn you're actually going to need, because you're not going to need a whole lot. This is a size 4 yarn, which is a worsted weight yarn. It's very similar to a double knitting yarn, I would say. It is sort of thin, so you can use any double knitting, any worsted weight. Going up to an Aran yarn, you may need a bigger hook, but that's all I think about with the substitute. If you can't get Red Heart yarns where you live, you can go on yarnsub.com and find out the yarn. Just type in Red Heart Super Saver or Red Heart with Love yarn, and it should show up what yarns are equivalent to this ply. So I'm using soft white for the main color of this. Here is soft white. Okay, and then I'm using, for the mittens color on my snowman, I'm using Holly Berry, which is, this one is Red Heart with Love. Okay, the Holly Berry. The Red Heart soft white color is just Red Heart Super Saver yarn. And then we're also using a very small amount of black and a very small amount of orange. Okay, this is like bright orange for the nose. Okay, and then you're also going to need some ribbon. Now this ribbon I actually cut it in half. This is Offray, and it is, let's see here, 7/8 inch, but I actually cut it down half the size of that to wrap around the neck of our little snowman here. And then the main thing is the cork board. So that was a little tough find for me. What I ended up getting was these these cork boards, actually, and then I cut them down into the size I needed for this coaster. So you can use that, or there's actually coasters that you can get online or at a craft store that actually are the coasters, the cork board itself. There's actual cork board coasters that you can get at a craft store, which I didn't find near me, but you might be able to, and I'll link it online where you can find it, and if you want to just get it online at Amazon or something, you can get that on there. And then the hook size does not matter as long as it's a tiny little hook. So we are using an E hook, which is 3.5 millimeters for today's little coaster here. That's a small hook that I have. Just a hook that you can fit through the holes of the coaster because we're going to create holes, and then we're going to work in there. So this hook fit through those holes. So that's basically all the size you need for that. There's no gauge for this or anything like that. And then you're going to need a yarn needle for a lot of sewing, and you're going to need a scissors for a lot of cutting, and a measure tape for measuring. So we're measuring around here. These stitches, you want them to be even all the way around, and mine are 1 inch apart, and I show you that in the tutorial and everything. So you just want to make sure you have a measure tape around here so you can measure where your holes need to be punched. And that's one thing you can use, is a hole punch to punch these holes into your cork board, which is what I highly recommend. It is safest, it is easiest, but I don't personally, my hole punch didn't work on the thickness of my cork board. My cork board was too thick to punch any holes with my tool, so I ended up using a different technique, which I show you as well. So there are many different ways you can punch holes in here, but a hole punch would be the easiest and safest. And then those are all the supplies you're going to need for this project. You can use any ribbon you want. I just got this really cheapy, or it's not cheapy, it's cheap. It was only $1, but it's really, really shiny and really glittery, and I really like it. It's very festive. And a lot of you ask, what size is this? or what size across would this be? Mine turned out to be 13 centimeters, which is 5 inches across. So that is, well, I guess with the mittens, it increases to 6.5 inches across. Okay, so that is 17 centimeters. So with the mittens, the cork board part itself is only 4 inches. Okay, and that's 10 centimeters. So the measurements for this are all there. And I'll put all this information in my blog. So there are links in the description of this video if you're watching this on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and check out my channel for all the other videos that I have. But you can get all the information for this coaster and the coaster set on my website, YARNutopia.com. You can get the written pattern, all the information, all the supplies you need, links to where you can get the supplies, all that good stuff. So make sure you check that out, and if you make this, share your photo on Facebook and Instagram. So on Facebook, you can just share it to the wall and tell me how you liked this, if you made it the same or different, or if you added different, you know, embellishments or whatnot. So make sure you share it on Facebook, and on Instagram, be sure to hashtag YARNutopia so I can see your coasters on there as well. And let me know what's in your cup when you're drinking, what you're drinking and what you're setting on the coaster. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Let's get started and make the winter snowman coasters. Alright, first we're going to start out with the cork board. Now, whether you have the cork board coasters already that you got at the craft store, you can just jump ahead on this video and start with the holes, poking holes in it and then crocheting. But if you bought a cork board like this, just a nice cork board piece here, I'm going to show you what I did personally. So what I did was cut little squares, however many I needed to make, and made something like this. Okay, so I've got smaller pieces. And then what I did was I took actually a bottle, but you can take anything round and just cut around this piece in making it into a circle. So that's what I did here. And then I just used this piece as a template and just drew around. You can see my ink marks here from my Sharpie here, but we just drew around this cork board and then cut with a scissors just all the way around this piece like this. Okay, so I'm not going to do that all on camera, but what you need to do is just cut as many of these as you need to out of the cork board, out of the really big cork board here. So that is what you can use. Or, like I said, I'll put a link to actual cork board coasters on my website in the materials section of this pattern, so you can get actual cork coasters if you want to buy them online or something. But at the store, I just found this cork piece, and I just wanted to cut it to fit the size that I wanted to. Anyway, once you have the circle, the coaster part of this, okay, it's going to be easy to cut this. This is very flimsy material, so it's going to be pretty easy to cut. And then once you have that, what we're going to do is actually measure this piece. And actually this one is, let me see where my, I don't know where my tape measure, there it is. This one is 10 centimeters across, which is 4 inches. Okay, so you want to make these about 4 inches across, and that will fit a nice cup on there, or a bottle. And then what we need to do is measure for where our holes are going to be. You want them to be even, so this is where measuring comes in. So what I ended up doing is taking this measure tape and putting it out, and then putting it around my piece here, and kind of just lifting it up and then marking this. So this is what we end up having. Something like this, where I marked the line, okay, all the way around at 1 inch, okay, markings. So you can see that is where all my markings end up at 1 inch apart. And then at the end of those, I measured, I think it's a 1/2 inch in. Yep, 1/2 inch in. Okay, and then I marked like a circle on there. Okay, so if you measure from 1 inch, and then there's the half mark right there, and then that is where my dot is. Okay, so that is how I measured where the dots need to go, and then they're even all the way around. And then you can take a hole punch or something to poke holes. So what I did, I ended up poking a bunch of these holes in here. Okay, so I did all of this off camera. For you, this is how it's going to be, so it's going to take a little longer, obviously, of a process, but I can show you here what I ended up doing is laying this piece down on something so it doesn't ruin my table underneath. And I just took a little rod that I had and put it on the spot where I needed it to go, and then I just hammered down with this hammer a bunch of times until it ended up poking a hole through it. Or you could take a pin, or you could take your actual crochet hook and kind of go in there. But this is a lot of pounding, so I'm going to actually go pound this through. If you have an actual hole punch, that would be much easier, but my hole punch, this was too thick around for my hole punch to go in on it and then punch it down. So I'm using this little piece, and I'm going to hammer this. So I'll be right back when I hammer this over. Alright, so now I have all the holes all in there, okay, and I grab my crochet hook to make sure it fits through. You want to make sure that it does fit a crochet hook. It does not matter the size crochet hook that you have, as long as one fits through there, okay, just like that. So I have this 3.5 millimeter hook, which is an E size hook, and that is fitting through the holes that I made, so that's the hook I'm going to use. This is probably best, the smaller the better. Unless you have a legit hole puncher and you're using that, your hole punch might be a little bit bigger with these holes. So now we want to flip this around so we're not seeing these tick marks or anything. So this is going to be the front of our piece, okay, the top of our piece, okay, and we're going to go into one hole just like that, and then we're going to grab our yarn and we can start crocheting. So I'm going to hook, so I inserted my hook into the hole here on the cork board coaster, and then I'm going to hook on my hook the yarn that I'm going to use, which is soft white, making a snowman. I'm pulling that through, and then I'm chaining to attach, just like that. Okay, and now we are just going to go around doing that by and chaining 3 in between. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then go into the next one, into the next hole there, yarn over and pull it through. Okay, this might get a little tough here. There we go. And then pull up and then pull it through the loop on your hook. Okay, we're making slip stitches. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to, you can pull that back to make it nice and look good, kind of even with this other side here, okay? And then chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then hop to the next hole right over here. Go in with your hook, yarn over and pull through, and pull up and through the loop on your hook. Okay, and then we're just going to do that all the way around. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And also, it does not matter how many holes you have on your coaster. I didn't even count how many I had on my coaster because that does not matter at all. So it's really creator's choice on that part. So let me see here. How many holes do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I have 12 holes in total, but you can have more or less. Really, again, that does not matter. So I'm just going to slip stitch into these holes here and chain 3 in between them, and then I will meet you up for the next round. Okay, just finishing around here, just got chain 3, and then we're going to slip stitch in this piece right here. So go on this side of it. Okay, go in, yarn over, and pull through, and then pull through that loop there. Okay, just like that. So that's what it should look like so far. Going on to the next round, we are going to slip stitch into this chain space here. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and then chain up 1. And in each space, we're going to put 3 single crochets, but we're going to chain 1 in between them. So go into this space, put 3 single crochets, 1, okay, so go in, yarn over, pull through, 2. That's 2. Go in, yarn over, pull through, 2. That's 3. Then we're going to chain 1, and then hop to the next chain 3 space here, and put 3 single crochets in there. So 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 1, and then hop to the next and put 3 single crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then chain 1 and repeat. So just do that all the way around, and then I will meet you up for the next round. When you come back around, be sure to chain that 1 and then slip stitch into the first single crochet. Okay, so not this slip stitch and not this chain up 1, but actually go into the single crochet, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, and then we can go on to the next round. So now this next round, we have to chain up 1. And we are going to make, starting the head of our snowman. So we are going to single crochet into each of these first 3 stitches. So go in, yarn over, pull through, 2. So that's 1, next stitch is 2, and the next stitch is 3. Okay, now we're at the chain 1 space here. We're going to slip stitch into there. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And now we're going to chain up 4. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in that same chain 1 space, we are going to make a treble crochet. So yarn over twice, go into the chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 of the loops on your hook, then yarn over and pull through 2 more loops, yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops. Okay, that's a treble crochet. So it actually looks like there's 2 stitches in that chain 1 space. Then we're going to put 2 treble crochets in each one of these next 3 stitches. So yarn over twice, go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And again, another treble crochet in that same stitch. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to put 2 treble crochets in the next, 1 and 2, and 2 treble crochets in the next. Oops. 1 and 2, okay, right here. Oh, yarn over twice for a treble crochet. I only yarned over once. So 1 and 2. Then what we're going to do is put a treble crochet into this chain 1 space. And then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to slip stitch into that chain 1 space. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. Whoops, go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. There we go. Okay, so that is the start of our snowman head. Now what we're going to do for the rest of this round, we are going to single crochet into each stitch, so each of these stitches, and in the chain 1 spaces, we are going to put 2 single crochets for an increase. So in this chain 1 space right here, put 2 single crochets in there, and then in each one of these 3 stitches, right here, we're going to put 1 single crochet in each one of those. Okay, then in the chain 1 space, put 2 single crochets, and then in each stitch, we're putting 1 single crochet. So now you can do that all the way around, and then I will meet you up for the next round. Alright, just putting 2 single crochets in this last chain 1 space here, and then we can slip stitch to the first single crochet right in here. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. Now this next part is actually, it's not really a round, it's more of a row, and we are just going across this part here around the head and then ending over here, and that's all it is for this next part. So what we're going to do is slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. So go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And this next stitch here, go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. On those slip stitches though, don't pull too tight. You want them to look like stitches. And then we're going to slip stitch in the first chain right here of our chain up 4. Okay, so this chain at the bottom here, we're going to go into there, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1 and single crochet into that same chain. So go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and then in the next 3 chains, we're going to put a single crochet in each one of those. So go into the front loop and back loop of this next chain, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, next chain, front loop and back loop, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And this next one right here, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now in this next stitch, this treble crochet stitch, we're going to put a half double crochet. So yarn over, go in, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And in the next stitch, we are going to put a half double crochet. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, now we are going to put 2 double crochets in each of the next 4 stitches. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And again, yarn over, go back into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that's 1. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, go in for 2 double crochets in the second stitch. Okay, 2 double crochets in the next stitch, the third stitch. And the next stitch also gets 2 double crochets. Okay, then the next 2 stitches here get a half double crochet each. So yarn over, go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And the next stitch, a half double crochet. And now we're going to single crochet in each of these next 4 chains of this chain 4 here. So go into this chain here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, next chain right down here, going down the side of this snowman head. And this next one here. Okay, we're just working down the chains and working a single crochet in these 4 chains. Just like that. And now we are going to slip stitch into the next 3 stitches. So go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Don't pull too tight. Go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and through, and the next stitch, a slip stitch. Okay, so it's even with the other side. We slip stitched into 3 stitches there. Okay, and then to fasten this off, we're going to chain 1 and cut this yarn, pull that all the way through and pull it tight, and we have to sew in some ends, and then we have to also manipulate this, kind of stretch it out to make it look like a snowman head. Okay, kind of like that. Kind of push these in so they're not so pointed. Make sure it's rounded out. Okay, just like that. It looks really good so far. Can't wait to put the face on there. So now we want to, let me grab my supplies here. We're going to make a mitten. So we're going to start by making the mittens first. I'm going to grab my Holly Berry red color. You can make your mittens in any color. I'm going to set this coaster aside and we are going to work with the same E 3.5mm hook, and we're going to start by making a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, then fold this down and pull that through and pull tight. Okay, insert your hook and we can make the mitten now. So chain 5, so yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in the second chain from the hook, we are going to single crochet. So the loop on the hook doesn't count as a chain. So the second chain is 1 and 2 right here. And I'm going to work in the back ridges of my work. So you can see the chain like this. I'm going to turn it toward me, and you can see these back little ridges here. I'm going to work into those. Okay, so single crochet in the second chain from the hook, go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. The next chain, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and we are going to single crochet till the end. The very last chain is going to actually have 2 single crochets in it. So this very last chain right here, we're going to put a single crochet, and then we're going to put another single crochet in there too. So go back in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's actually 5 stitches on row 1. Turning your work, you're going to chain 1, turn it around, and going on to row 2 here, we're going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch. So right in here, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. And again, go back into that first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. And then we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of the last 4 stitches here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so on row 2 you should have 6 single crochets across. Chain up 1 and turn your work. We're going to make the thumb part of the mitten now, so we're going to single crochet in 3 stitches. So these first 3 stitches here, 1 is right there, don't miss that one, it's behind everything. So single crochet in that first stitch, the next stitch, and the next stitch. And now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then slip stitch to the third chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, right in there, go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And we're also going to slip stitch into where our last single crochet was made. So go down into where the last single crochet was made, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, so we've made a little thumb there. So now we can fasten off. So chain 1, cut your yarn kind of long for sewing, and then continue to pull that all the way through, and then pull that tight, and there's your little mitten. How cute! So now just rewind this and make exactly the same thing for the other hand, exactly the same thing, and then I'll meet you up and we'll sew these onto our coasters. Alright, just made my other mitten here, so I have both of them done. So now we want to make sure that the thumbs are facing upward toward the face, okay, of our snowman here, and we're going to sew these on. So what we need to do is position this. I'm going to position it between 2 of these little nick marks here, these little slip stitches, and I'm going to go right at the top row here, okay, right about there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab the long straggler here, and we're going to sew this. So we're just grabbing our yarn needle, yarning our needle. We're going to go underneath some of these stitches to get to this bottom row here of our mitten. So I'm just going to go into some of these stitches here. Okay, and then I'm going to position this in the spot where I want it to be. Okay, and then I'm going to flip this over and go into these stitches right here. Okay, and then we're just going to go back and forth through both layers. Okay, just like this. It's just going to take like 2 or 3, maybe 4 stitches, I guess. Okay, make sure you go through both layers there. Okay, and then we're going to go back in to our work to the other side, and then we're going to take this straggler as well and go to the other side with that. So I'm going down the mitten on this side, and then I'm going into this part back here. Stretch it out, make sure the mitten looks good. So far so good. And then on this side we're going to tie a knot. Okay, just like that. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut that one shorter. I'm going to yarn my needle with both of these strands here. Okay, and then I'm going to sew in these in behind my mitten so that it's all hidden. Okay, just sew it in however you'd like. I'm trying to just sewing it underneath some stitches, but you won't see this because it's behind everything. And then we're just going to cut it short, like that. And then turn it around and you can see that it looks fabulous. Okay, so now I have the other mitten to sew on this side. Again, make sure the thumbs are up, okay, and in the nice spot here, like that. So thumbs are up toward the face on both hands. You don't want one being like mismatched and like opposite. I mean, you could have opposite if you want silly arms. You could do it like that, I guess. But I'm just gonna sew this other one on exactly like that other one, just making sure it's in this area here between these two tick marks, and then I'll sew that on, and then we'll go on to the next step of making the carrot nose. Alright, I just sewed this mitten on, so they're both on nice and pretty cute here. So now I'm just going to sew in these little loose ends here, and then we'll make that nose. So to sew in these white ends here in the back, we're just going to yarn our needle, and then we're just going to go behind our stitches. Okay, this is the back of the coaster here, and we're just going underneath the stitches. Okay, and then if you want to, you can go back and forth to make sure it is secure and that it's not going to unravel. And then you can cut any extra you've got, okay? And then this one here, since it's in the cork part of the coaster already, we are going to actually yarn our needle, and then we're going to bring it up, okay, into these stitches up here. Okay, so then it looks like that stitch is complete in the back there. And then we're going to go back and forth, again, like I said, so it doesn't unravel. Just like that. And then cut any extra. And there we have it so far. So now let's grab our orange yarn and our same crochet hook, that E 3.5mm, setting that coaster aside, and we are going to make a slip knot. So put your short end over the long end, fold that down, and then pull that through and pull it tight. Insert your hook, and we are going to chain 4. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then in the second chain from the hook, let's see here, actually we have to chain 5, sorry, chain 5 because that we are not working in. So chain 5, and then in the second chain from the hook we are going to slip stitch. So the loop on the hook again doesn't count as a chain or anything, so count 1, 2, so we have 5 chains. I said 4, but we have to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and in that second chain, 1 and 2 right in there, we're going to go into that, and like I did earlier, I'm working in the back ridges, okay, of this work. I'm going to go into that second chain, go in, and then yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, and that's going to be the tippy point of our carrot nose. Then this next chain is going to get a single crochet, so go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, and then the next chain is going to get a half double crochet, so yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and the last chain is also going to get a half double crochet, so yarn over, go in, and then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And then we can fasten off. So chain 1, cut your yarn kind of long for sewing and pull that all the way through and pull it tight. And there's a little triangle carrot nose. Cute. So now grab your coaster and we're going to sew it on here. Just like that. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is take my hook and I'm going to pull this short straggler through to the back. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my yarn needle, grab the long end, the long tail that we cut, and I'm going to yarn my needle with that. I'm going to position this down here. Okay, you have to make room for the eyes, so make sure that you have room for that. And just go into the head and then out the nose. And you basically only need 2 or 3 stitches in the nose. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and forth, in and out. Just like that. Actually, this stitch is actually going to have to be a little closer to the carrot part. There we go. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to flip this over to the back, tie these 2 pieces in a knot. Okay, and make sure that you don't tie it too tight because it can scrunch up this nose in the front and that can look weird. Okay, and then we're going to yarn our needle with both of these stragglers and sew them in to hide the ends. So we're just going to go behind the stitches. And I'm kind of just going to wrap it around twice. Cut any extra. And there's your little carrot nose. Cute. So now grab the black yarn and we are going to make the eyes. And we're almost done, you guys. So to make the eyes, we're doing French knots. So I'm going to grab the black yarn and my yarn needle, and I'm going to yarn my needle, if we can. This black yarn is kind of thick. Come on, there we go. Okay, so yarn your needle with that yarn. We're going to go from behind this piece here into the spot where we want the eye to go. So I'm skipping just 2 of these little posts here, 1, 2, and going into this spot right here, pulling this up, and then what I'm going to do, you can see it's looking at us like this. We're going to take this yarn, we're going to go from the behind this strand here, okay, behind it, wrapping 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then we're going to go into the next stitch right here. We're going to go in to there. Okay, and then we're going to pull that all tight. Okay, and then you're going to want to pull the other side also. If you want to, you can crochet eyes or use little dot eyes. But there's one of the eyes. So it's just a French knot, okay? And then to secure that, what we're going to do is kind of pull tight, first of all. And then we're going to flip this around, cut our yarn. And we're going to tie this in a knot on the back side. Okay, you can tie it once or twice, or I'm sorry, no, twice or 3 times. Don't just tie it once. Okay, and then you can just cut that really short right up to the knot. Okay, and there's one of your eyes. Cute. Okay, so now I have to do the other side. Let me see if I can do it with a straggler here. we're going to skip a stitch here. We're going to go into this one right here. Okay, wrapping 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Going in to this other stitch, pulling tight on everything. Aw, that's so cute. Okay, making sure it's the same as the other one. Flipping this over, tying this in a knot. Two times. And then cut it really short, close to the knot. And there it is. How cute. Okay, very last step we have to grab is our ribbon. I ended up using this ribbon like I showed you in the beginning of this video, and I took this piece, just a long strand of this, and wrapped it around this neck here. Okay, and kind of measured how much I wanted of it, just like this. Okay, and then I cut that strand, but then I cut that in half. Okay, so it's half the width of this piece. You can get ribbon that is thinner than this, any type of ribbon that you want. And then I'm going to go like this across the front for a scarf. Okay, and we're going to go up onto here a little bit. Okay, because then we're going to put a stitch in there. So what we need to do is grab our red. Okay, I just grabbed a little tiny piece of red, and I'm actually going to separate this. If you have red thread or other red or other thread, you can use that. But I'm separating my yarn, okay, the ply, okay, and then I'm grabbing my yarn needle and yarning my needle with that little skinny strand there. Okay, I'm positioning my scarf where I want it to be, and then we're going to sew that in from the back. Okay, and this part was kind of difficult trying to get it through the ribbon. So let me see if I can get it. There we go. And then to the other side. Go. It's easier to do it with a table. Okay, just a tiny little stitch, nothing major. And then we're going to tie this in a knot in the back. Okay, and then we're going to sew this in underneath our stitches. So just yarn your needle with that. Oops. We're so close to being done. And then you can easily make as many of these as you want, so that's exciting. Just sew it in a little bit. You don't even have to do a whole lot. Nobody's going to see that anyway. And there it is. And then we just have to cut this shorter. Okay, so I'm just going to cut, just eyeball this part kind of shorter. Let me see here. I'm going to do it straight across because it is a scarf. Okay, and this one straight across. And there you have it. How cute is that snowman coaster? Thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this coaster with me. You can make as many of these as you want. You can change it up, make it into a penguin, or you can just make this a little bit wider and turn it upside down, more like an upside down triangle. Have a little black and white design. You can make it into Santa. You can add a little hat if you want to also. You can even cut felt and just tack felt on there too. This is a lot of fun. You can get really versatile with this pattern, but that was really easy and a lot of fun for a quick project this holiday season. If you're looking for a quick project for a gift giving project, you know, you can make a set of 4 of these and get nice glasses and have, you know, nice glasses and these coasters for a gift this season. So thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this. If you make these, please share your photos on the Facebook and on the Instagram, #YARNutopia, so I can see your work. Until next time, happy hooking!